live. We are live. We are Mi365. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here this morning. We are excited. We're early. We are early. We are 2 minutes early. I like to go live a little bit earlier normally on Instagram. I'm going to talk like this the whole time. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Here we go. Let's share now. We're sharing that now publicly, and we're going to share that again. I spent a little bit of time this morning reading people's posts, and boy, am I fired up. Am I so inspired by the lengths that people will go to help other people. It is incredible. How many of you have ever seen anything like this in your entire life? Have you seen a community of like-minded people like this? How many of you have ever seen such a positive community? I've never seen anything like it. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining me. This is day 2, but I've got a feeling I do need to probably recap a little bit. I like to recap anyway, but I know a lot of people didn't watch yesterday because it was bank holiday and maybe you had a lie-in, maybe you spent time with your family, who knows. But you're here today and we appreciate that. We would also appreciate you sharing this. This information needs to be sent out to the world. I know that what we share with you on Mi365 is information that will radically change the world. And I mean really change the world. We think about the world changes through politics and law. And of course, many of these things keep us in line, and there's systems that allow the countries in the world to function. But as far as us functioning at an optimal level, we need principles. We need our own principles. We need our own virtues, our own values. And this is absolutely central, and it sits at the heart of what Mi365 is. So what is Mi365? Mi365, we believe that your future is not written. We believe this, and that's why we show up every day, because we believe your future isn't written, and we know that there's a part of you that wants to create a better future, that wants to create a better story, a story that you're proud of, a story that one day you could look back and say, look what I did, look what I did. We also believe that you have the power to change. Yes, you have the power to do great things. How many of you agree with those statements, that your future is not written and you have the power to change? If you believe that, and you take me as your coach, and if your coach asks you to do something, you should do it. You know, if we were working together, like we are, but like you came and knocked on my door and you said, Coach, what are we doing today? And we worked on something, and if your coach, I'd say, listen, this is what you need to do. If you didn't do it, then I would never expect you to get better, but I probably wouldn't work with you. So if I ask you to write something down, I would write it down. So what am I asking you to write down? I'm asking you to write down right here, right now, that write down, my future is not written and I have the power to change. Now, if you wrote that down every single day, you would start to believe it. It was Henry Ford that said, you know, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. And many of us are telling ourselves the story of why we can't do things. Mi365 is a story-based business. And how many of you are inspired by the stories that people have created? Yesterday, one of the things I said is, how many of you would give yourself a score of 100% in terms of your effort in creating the life you want, especially since you've been a Mi365er? What would you give? In fact, everyone right now, let's share that with everyone. What percentage would you give yourself? And some people said 60, 70, 80. And then the people that said 100, well, that wasn't surprising to me because I know these people's stories. You see, we have an opportunity to start following some pretty remarkable people. People who have become role models, and we all need role models in our life. Listen, we need principles, we need values, and we need role models. And on top of that, we need coaching, and we need a community of like-minded people where we can grow. You see, most of our role models are actors or musicians, and sometimes they're not the greatest of role models because what they do behind the scenes isn't necessarily what most of us would aspire to create with our life. And some of our role models can just be everyday people who have absolutely changed their life around. So we're talking about 7 principles to change your life. They're our principles. They're the Mi365 principles. You can adopt them. You can use them if you want. or you can come up with your own. And if you look at the post yesterday, you'll see a link. If you click on that link from yesterday's post, you can download our principles. Here they are. Look, I've done a bit of writing on these as well. They are the 7 principles of Mi365. Why do we need principles? Well, this is what often keeps us in line. This is what keeps us on track, especially when the going gets tough, right? So if you look at people who are successful in life and you think, well, why are you successful? Well, in many cases, they had principles that they always return to. They're like your anchor. Your principles should keep your compass moving in the direction that you want to go. So if you want to go north, straight towards where you want to go, you need virtues. And we're going to spend a week on virtues and values. But what we're looking at today is principles. So our 7 principles is, our first principle is very simple. We believe your future isn't written. That's what we believe. Now, if you really believe that your future is not written, let me ask you this question. What are you doing today to write your future tomorrow? What is it that you're doing today? There are certain countries in the world where the language they use about the future is the language they use in the present tense. So the future is today. And that's why in these 2 countries specifically, they don't have a lot of personal debt, because people don't buy things that they don't have. Many of us, we don't really think about the future too much. So we make too many decisions based on just feeling good and being stimulated in the moment. But my challenge to you, if you really believe this, if you believe it, that your future is not written and you have the power to change, then ask yourself, what are you doing today to write the future of tomorrow? Does this make sense? This is our first principle. And I want all of you by the end of the week to decide, what are your principles? Now, some of you will do this half-heartedly, or you won't do it at all. But some of you will go put some real thought into this and think, what are going to be my guiding principles? Maybe you don't want to have 7. Maybe you want to have 5. Maybe you want to have 100. But I would break it down to the point where you know your principles and you can tell someone what your principles are. So the first principle is you have the power to change. Sorry, your future is unwritten. The second principle is you have the power to change. Let's look at principle number 3, which is help, support, and encouragement are to be had in abundance. We believe help, support, and encouragement should be had in abundance. And I think you would find it pretty hard if you wanted to search the globe to find a better group of people who will support you. Our elite members know all about that, but you don't have to be an elite member. You can just be someone who shows up here every day and be in our bigger Facebook group and know, wow, this is a really supportive group. But let me highlight the key word from our third principle, which is abundance. Abundance. Help, support, and encouragement should be had in abundance. And that's not just me giving you support and saying, hey, listen, you're great. One of our members this morning made a very long post about some of the troubles that she's experiencing at this moment in time. And the amount of people that have come to her to say, listen, we're here for you. We've got your back. We want you to be happy. You want you to. That's in abundance. That's in abundance. But there is another type of help, support, and encouragement. And that's the one that you give yourself. Help, support, and encouragement of yourself. It's so easy to blame yourself. It is so easy to shame yourself. It is so easy to give yourself a hard time. If you had £1 or $1 for every single time you gave yourself a hard time, you blamed yourself, you shamed, how rich would you be? Can you not see that one of the key principles of your life is to apply these principles to your life? This is what we call the internal locus of control. It's when you decide, this is my life. Maybe you've been living someone else's life. Maybe you've been living someone else's ideals. Maybe your parents' principles. And we're not here to say any of that is right or wrong, but what are the principles that you need for you to excel in your life? So help, support, and encouragement are to be had in abundance. We also believe that everybody needs coaching. Everybody, everyone in the whole world needs coaching. Why? because this is how we often make sense of the world. And three things that we're told as children is don't talk to strangers, money doesn't grow on trees, and don't copy. Let me say that again. Don't talk to strangers, money doesn't grow on trees, and don't copy. They are three of the things which mess people up more than anything else. A lot of the people here in Mi365 are strangers, and a lot of you are talking to those people, and now they've become your friends because you shared what you're doing. Then you got encouragement, you gave out, and something came back to you. I believe that money doesn't necessarily grow on trees, but there's an abundance of money out there. If money is something, we will spend a week again looking at financial freedom. I bet that's a subject that many of you would love to explore and understand, because success always leaves clues, right? That's why we need coaching to work things out for ourselves so the true essence, our true greatness can shine. And thirdly, copy. Don't copy. Yeah, we should all copy. Copy people who are successful. Pick your champions. There are champions within Mi365 that you can look at and think, what is their guiding principles? What has moved them through the world? And many of our Mi365ers use the Mi365 journal. This has been, me journaling, and believe you me, journaling is something I really struggle to do with because I'm not really into detail. I like the big picture, everything big, let's go, this is what we're doing, charge. But sometimes it's really important to look back, to plan, to do, review. And if your life is worth living, it has to be worth recording. So journaling is an important part of these principles. So let's recap the three. Then tomorrow we will move into 4 and 5, those principles. But then I want to help you on Thursday and Friday, you come up with your own principles. And you could tell someone, these are my principles. So we believe your future is not written. If you believe that, then what are you doing today to create the future that you want? It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. What matters is now. Our second principle is you, yes, you, which is me, right? The you is me. And by the way, at 10:30 today, we will be announcing our member of the month for the month of May. Super excited for you to hear this person's story, what they've achieved. You'll be able to find out at 10:30 today. We've done an interview with that person. Our third principle is help, support, and encouragement are to be had in abundance. You can download this, you can read this, you can just say, I'm taking these principles, they're good enough for me. Or you could think, you know what? I want to change this. This doesn't work for me. This is what I need. Does this comprehend? Is this landing to all of you how important it is for you to be able to say, this is my life and these are my principles? Some people might think that you're a bit crazy, but a lot of people have principles, but they don't talk about them, and they're terrible. Like the principle of, my principle is, I wake up in the morning and I press snooze, go back to sleep, then I press snooze again, then I wake up again, and that's my first principle, and that gets me in a really bad mood. Another principle if I have is I never really look to create my days, I just react. That's another principle that I have. What's another principle? That I watch far too much television. That's another principle. I let stress and worry get the better of me. Another principle I love to blame. I love to focus on what's wrong, on what's missing, what I haven't got. These are my principles. And this is why I am not living the life that I want to. These are principles. This is why you are who you are today, because of the standards. Your principles create your standards. And most of us need higher standards. Is this sermon over for today? Is anyone excited? Because I don't know how many times anyone has ever talked to you the way that I am talking to you. But the reason I'm talking to you the way that I'm talking to you is I care about you. You have no idea how much I care about you, whoever you are. All I ask you is put a smile on your face and ask yourself the question, am I who I want to be? And if not, who do I want to be? And what are the principles that I need for me to create the life that I want? Now, one of our members yesterday, Jen Rennings, amazing lady, she has actually written out her own principles, and then she took a picture of it and put it on Facebook to show the world, these are my principles. Now, her challenge, like all of our challenges, is to live by our principles. This is one of the most important things you will ever do in your life. Mi365 is a speech bubble of you working on yourself, and I ask you to give us a year, 1 year of you focusing on yourself. And if you're not in a better place mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is, then I don't know what to say. But I will not be saying I don't know what to say. I'll be saying, wow, look at what you have done. Look at who you have become. As you've created an amazing book of your life. And the book of your life should be journaling. If you don't journal, you can find out about the Mi365 journal. Just click on the link in this post and see for yourself what it's about. Look at the video that I made, posted yesterday with Marty Mahoney in Kauai, and she talks about what her journaling has done for her. By the way, just finish off. What has the Mi365 journal done for you? If you're a journaler, show us some hearts. Tell us why, not what. Tell us what journaling has done for you. Eddie, it's fantastic. I gave 40 years. I'm so brilliant to see Eddie from Sweden. Stefan, I don't know whether you've met up with Eddie yet, but please meet up with him. Thank you, Marty. Let's look at what some people are saying on here. I can show you. Look, we can do this. Isn't this great? Sharing it to my message. Don't have the Mi365 journal, but still keep a journal. Absolutely. Whatever works for you. Focused and evidence. That's why journaling is, you start to see what you're working on. No worries, Susie. Just because you haven't nailed it, it gives you something to do. Something to get better at. I'm definitely in a better place, but could be an amazing place if I put more effort in. Yeah, and it's up to you. And that will be based on your principles. Listen, I've worked with, please understand that, thank you so much, Becky. What I would tell you is, oh, that was a good one to show there, look. 1 year of working on my life has been amazing. Journaling, big part of this. Journaling makes me accountable to myself. And White, been using the Mi365 journal for about 4 weeks and love the process. Thank you very much, Lisa. I've been using journaling is the best way to reflect. It's helped me have a better structure and plans my goal. Yeah, I mean, success always leaves clues, and one of the things you'll find with people who are successful is their journal. So let's say goodbye to you guys on here. Bye, Instagrammers. Say goodbye to Instagram. Let's just do a quick recap. Who'd like a quick recap of today? Remember, you know, success is often just doing a few things daily. Here we go. This is day 2 on principles. Everyone needs principles. These are the Mi365 principles. You can download them if you go to Mi365. Principles are like a compass. A principle-based life is a life where you can hold yourself up to certain standards. Most people have principles they don't even think about. The principles of not being happy, the principle of letting things get to them, the principles of talking themselves out of things, rather than developing principles that allow you to stay on course when things get tough and allow you to renew your focus of where it is that you're going. We believe your future is not written. That is an underlying key principle of Mi365. We believe you have the power to change. We believe that hope, support, encouragement should be had in abundance, just like we have written down here. And I will be going through the other principles tomorrow. Guys, have an amazing day. Much love to you all. Take care, take action. Not now, but right now. It's been a great session. Who's enjoyed this today? What's the most significant thing that you've taken away from this broadcast today? Make a note of it, write it down, make a post, make a video. If you do your own principles, take a picture of it. Even if you print off our Mi365 principles, take a picture of you with it. Show evidence. Show your life. Show what you're creating. You guys are amazing. Thank you for showing up. We'll see you tomorrow. There's Jim Lawrence in the house. Journaling is helping my handwriting, grammar skills and improve building my awesome future? Yes. And Jim Lawrence is someone who's lost a ton of weight and is creating an amazing life to help other people. Principles are your compass. I have the power. I've got the power. Maybe we should all go and hear that song by Snap. Take care. See you tomorrow. Much love to all. Bye-bye for now.